Hi, this is Kathy Corridon. Welcome back. I'm really delighted that you're with me on this journey on the online workshop series, Live Your Can-Do Life. We talked on the first video about your dreams and about setting your goals and really working your goals and making sure that they are SMART goals and that you track it. You really pay attention to where you're going. Then we talked about gratitude and how vitally important that is. It's just, before anything else, gratitude is important. You have to have, as I've said, a positive attitude every day, grounded in gratitude and based in reality. Well, I'm here to talk about that based in reality part. That's kind of the next part. And how we handle some of the things that come up and how we prepare for them living a can-do life. The first is alignment. And this is making sure that all the parts of you are connected to each other. It's easy to get so scattered in this kind of crazy high energy world that we live in that you're doing things here and there, and pretty soon there's no central core or central direction anymore, that there are compartments of you. And one of the real important things about living a can-do life is being in alignment. Are your values what drive your behavior? Or are you doing things because somebody else wants you to do them, needs you to do them, because you're in a situation that you'd really rather not be in, and you keep doing things that fall outside your value system? One of the ways that I talk about this is that I have a value system to give back. And so if I haven't either given of my time or my money in quite a while to primarily family and children's issues, then I'm not living in alignment with what my real core values are. And I say that I want to spend time with my husband and deepen that relationship. But if I'm working all the time and every place else but home, I'm not living in alignment to that. So in the workbook, there's a little exercise about talking about how your behaviors line up to your values and making sure that the things that are either extraneous things that are busy work, and sometimes we get into that, things that we really don't want to be involved in, or things that we really have to make a hard decision about, that there is at least connection, if not alignment. You have to have connection first, and then you can build to alignment. And if you don't have that, it's going to be very hard to focus yourself and do the next thing. And that is make possibility-focused decisions. Make decisions in a different way, based not on what's going to go wrong if I do this, based not on what I've always done before, based not on what everybody else is doing, but decisions based on the possibilities that I have, and go back to the last video, to meet my goals, to achieve my dreams. If we're always doing the same thing and going around in circles, we're not going to get to our goals and to our dreams. And if we're always following somebody else's dreams and goals, we're not going to get to our own either. So how we make a possibility decision. I've come up with 3 questions. I call them the can-do questions, and they're pretty much the basis of a lot of how I make my decisions and live my life. And I found that they get me out of knee-jerk reactions and decisions and being places that I think, how did I get here? And have me much more aware of and focused on how my decisions drive my direction and get me to my goals. The first question is, what can I do? That's a pretty simple question. But I think that I want to emphasize it isn't just what I did yesterday or what somebody else thought was a good idea. It really opens it up and sparks a sense of curiosity and creativity for me to go past the trite, go past what I've always done, look at what other options are out there, and spend some time exploring it. The second question helps support that. It's, what else can I do? So I'm always looking at plan B or a modification of plan A as I'm moving forward. So if I'm working on a project and I come to a dead end, I'm not stuck at the dead end. All I have to do is look in my little, what else can I do parking lot. And I probably have thought through some pretty good ideas. And I actually keep that in my journal and take advantage of it all the time, so that there's always another option available for me, whether it's what I'm doing on a Saturday night, where we're going on vacation. We just had this happen. We were going to go on vacation, and both my husband and I ended up with work situations that really ruled that out. So rather than that, we're going to go to the beach for the weekend. And we already set, but we had talked about a number of different options when we looked at doing something during this period of time. And so it wasn't that hard to say, so what else can we do? Okay, we can go to the beach. Let's look for what we can get and a good deal for that. So what can I do? What else can I do? The third question, and this is the one that it took me a very long time to learn. Just because I can do it, is it what's best to do? And it stops me to think, is it the right thing to do? Is it the right time to do it? Do I need to wait and get more information? Is it with the right people? Do I need to have more people involved in my decision than I thought? So that what else can I do is a gut check and a little bit of a time delay to have me make sure that I've kind of measured twice to cut once. And that's how I kind of like to look at it. It's my, have I thought of everything I need to before I take an action that is going to be really hard to back out of. The next section is change. Everybody, well, many people, I think everybody's an exaggeration, a little hyperbole thrown in there, but many people have a very hard time with change. And in reacting to it, they either jump into it on one extreme, or they resist, ignore, find a lot of workarounds. People spend an enormous amount of energy trying to figure out ways to not have to change, when if they just went ahead and did it, it wouldn't have been all that much of a problem. And one of the things about life, and in the workbook, I use the example of the butterfly. You know, if a caterpillar just wanted to stay a caterpillar forever, boy, we'd all be out something really beautiful. And I think that that's an important lesson for us, that as we go through our cycles of life, kind of where we are, that the kinds of changes we have to make are going to happen anyway. We can either be on the ride or left out and then trying to struggle to figure out what we can do. That said, there are several models of change, and I have two different ones that I like to use. The first is the law of the first down. One of the things about me is that I'm a big Ohio State football fan, and part of the strategy in football is, and it's I think the best gift of a football game is the first down. You know, you don't have to score a touchdown on every possession of the ball. You need to go 10 yards. Figure it out, get around the challenges and obstacles, they're called the defensive line, and get to that marker. And if you really kind of continuously do that and focus on doing that well, what happens is the team's whole mechanism and unity and being able to read each other and to know each other and to feel out the field and feel out the defense allows them to have every once in a while a big play. But big plays are not the norm. They are what you get when you have the mojo and the moxie going of getting ahead of it a little bit and making some small but steady gains down the field. Another model I look at, and it comes from the health industry, is called the PDSA model. And it really says that you take change in 4 small steps. First, you make a plan, and then you do it, and it's a little change. It isn't dropping 50 pounds. You don't lose weight by losing 50 pounds. You lose weight by losing 1 pound at a time. So you do a small step, and then you plan, and then you take the step, and then you study what the outcomes of that were. Did it work? Didn't it work? What parts need to be different? Study, and then you act again. And then you plan to take the next step based on that. And it goes in a cycle. And the nice part is you build your skills and you build your confidence. And those are the two most important things. You learn what you need to do to overcome what I call stuck points in change. And you learn to plan for change, not just enter into it blindly and then wonder why you end up having stressed out or in a ditch. So the small increments of change are what give you the best kind of growth. And I encourage you to think about the times that you have resisted change, the times that you've tried to make too much change at a time, and come up with some either first downs or the PDSA model, which I included in the book, and look at what those skills are that you learn. The last ingredient or the last practice of your can-do life, my can-do life, is the secret sauce. And the secret sauce is my favorite part. It's the place where the most special, strongest qualities of us come together to make us uniquely who we are. And if we don't pay attention to that, it will go away. And so it's where in the 7 secrets, if you go back and look at the blog and look at the 7 secrets, it's where the take and make time to reflect comes, because it's nurturing those parts of you that are the deepest parts of you and allowing life to kind of get back in there and make sure that the parts of you that are the most special get the attention too. Not just the doing, but the being of who you are. And that's the secret sauce. It's the part where I call it the je ne sais quoi of each of us. It's the part where we interact with the world and it makes us a unique person. Take pride in that, simmer that secret sauce, and also savor it. So those are the 4 practices of a can-do life. Being in alignment, being in alignment, making good decisions, possibility decisions, planning for, learning how, and being good at handling change, and savoring and simmering your secret sauce. If you do those 4 things on a regular basis, the quality of your life will change for the better. If you ground it in gratitude, I guarantee that your secret sauce will get better and that you will find new opportunities when you ask those 3 questions about what can I do, what else can I do. You will find new things that you never saw before because you were so busy trying to figure out how not to do something instead of looking at what the possibilities are. That the new possibilities will be more present to you in the everyday course of your life. The last piece that I put 2 pieces in. The second last piece is making your own personal plan. And I hope that you do that. I count out 100 days. It allows me to have some hiccups along the way, to find things that really work and to practice them well. Whether it's going to the gym, trying to get enrolled in an educational program, making changes in a relationship. 100 days really lets us have some tracking and being able to gauge in that PDSA model, that study part to make sure we use our lessons learned to go forward. And then we can, I think, have a good part of a year to have that growth in us take root and really make a difference in our lives. And I bet, and I know, it'll make a difference in other people's lives too. Your friends, your family, and those that you work with will, I believe, begin to see a real difference in you. Last piece is I put in some great resources, and it's a real variety of things that I find support and reflect a can-do life. And so I hope that you take advantage of that, of the Can-Do blog, which I will either post or put a podcast on every Wednesday. and kind of keep the pulse of my can-do going, because doing that writing and the podcast really helps me stay in touch with those core elements and refreshes and renews them in myself as I share them with you. And so I thank you for joining me. I hope that you have a real success in this workshop journey. And I hope you continue to every day have an attitude, positive attitude, grounded in gratitude, based in reality. And then from that, discover what you can do. Thanks.